Hey guys, good morning to most of you. It's about 9:45 here in lovely Denver. So basically, here's the thing. Amazon kind of did something screwy to me, and it's going to take the weekend for them to solve it, which really pissed me off. So I figure I'm going to turn bad news into good news for you guys. And all that means is this weekend I'm going to give 50% off my best-selling book that is normally on Amazon, and you can't find it on Amazon right now. Should be fixed on Monday. So I never want to have my book not available, so I figured I would make it available directly here, and only $4.99, 50% off. So just use the coupon code in the description there. I'll show you what the hell is going on here. So here's my book. And I don't know how long, I guess on the 1st, they blocked my book. So when I called support, and here's the little note that they give, something about copyright content or whatever, they have this idea that, that maybe I didn't write the book or something like that, which is absolutely false. But Amazon is known to make mistakes. So yeah, that pissed me off a little bit. And I figured, well, instead of being pissed off, why don't I just share the book for cheap until they get this problem solved. So if you haven't read the book, if you haven't picked up the book, you can grab the PDF directly from me through that link. Make sure to use the code that I put in there. And that code will be good until midnight on Sunday, my time. And then that code will no longer be good. I will create another code if for some reason the book problem on Amazon is not solved by Monday. But I wanted to make it available to you guys. So there you go. You can grab the book. It's helped thousands of people and continues to help a lot of people. I get emails all the time, which I won't bother sharing right now. But I think that it would really be helpful. If I didn't think that this book would be incredibly helpful for your music production, especially for $5. I mean, it's the least expensive thing that I've got to offer. Even at $10, it's the least expensive thing. And I think it's a really powerful read for a number of people. So I think you'll get tons out of it. If you don't agree, just hit me up. You could hit me up a year from now after buying the book and just ask me for a refund. I'll refund your money. No big deal. So that is it. I've got some other stuff going on. If you guys are not yet on board with the Groove Masterclass, if you guys have any problem creating really good quality grooves to build songs out of, I'm going through 5 different genres of music right now. We just finished the Tech House video, and this Monday I'll be working on techno, and then we'll be going through 3 other styles that are voted by the students. If that's something that you're interested in, jump on board that and hang out with us in the group. It's really, really cool. And I think you'll get a ton out of that. If you have problems like with your songs sounding like they're missing something, or maybe your sound palette is not quite fitting in with the genre, so it's a little difficult to get people to play it, because even though you want your song to sound unique, a DJ is looking for something that is within their kind of style. And you could be a little different and unique, but you want to know the rules before you break them. And that really has a lot to do with understanding and deconstructing other songs in your genre, and then figuring out how to put that back together, figuring out by listening what layers are necessary, hearing details that you never noticed before, all that type of stuff. It's a huge deal. If you can't hear it, then you're not going to be able to put it into your own tunes. So that is the pinned post there. So yeah, till Monday you can grab my book, just $5. If you want to jump into the Groove Master class, it is still open for you, and we've already launched the first video. Love to have you on board. I hope you guys are having a good one. If you have any questions right now, I'd be happy to answer them for you, since I got a few people on the call. Let me just find you guys here on my phone, and feel free to, I'll give you guys like 2 minutes to give me any questions. If I don't hear anything in the next couple minutes, then I'll assume that you guys are doing perfectly well. But I'm happy to help. Here, let's see. Let's find the live stream. There's the live stream. Where are your comments, if any? Oh, I don't want to listen to myself here. What was that book again? The book is Music Habits, The Mental Game of Electronic Music Production. Let's see. I was wondering about the warp function for audio. And David said me as well. All right, yeah, we could get into that. Can you be more specific on what kind of warping question you have? Because there's a bit to warping, and I need to know more specific about your problem. What are you trying to do? And then I could probably help you a little bit further. All right, so in the comments, just drop in what I can, what it is your goal is, and then I can, try to walk you through. So if you're still hanging out, just drop a comment. Why do I use a shitty cup, right? This is like kind of ghetto. Well, the answer to that is it holds a crap load of water, and I'm trying to remind myself to drink lots of water. So this is the biggest cup I have available to me, and that's why I have a shitty cup. I mean, I have a cool cup here, So this is my yerba mate. You guys ever try yerba mate? It's a tea, and it's not caffeinated, but it gives you the same effects of caffeine without the negative side. It's really, really good stuff. And I do it bulletproof style, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of bulletproof coffee, but I put MCT oil, which is like a concentrated coconut oil, and then I drop some butter in there as well. It's got to be organic, and it's got to be from grass-fed cows, so I use Kerrygold for that. Meanwhile, can you change the BPM of a sample to a different BPM? And then another one was just about getting the quantize right. Can you change the BPM sample? Well, yeah, you can change the BPM. You can make it any BPM that your master is. So let me open up Ableton real quick, and I'll try to show you what's what. I'm just waiting for the program to open, and then I'll switch this screen over. Let's, there we go. You guys can see my screen. And let's go ahead and we'll just mess with one of these loops here. Report a crash. It didn't actually crash, all right? I just force quit. I'm going to tell you one of the things that, and probably the only thing that bugs me about Ableton 10, and that is, so I'm clicking on here, right? And I've got the automation up. Now, if I try to just duplicate this, it just worked. Isn't that weird? Okay, let me see if I wanted to delete this. That worked too. Never mind. What was happening, which was kind of weird, is that I was having to turn off automation before I could do the edits for some reason, and that bugged me. So if that's not a problem, then I have zero problems with Ableton 10. All right, so here we go. We've got this snare deal here, right? So let's just jump over to the sample here. And with warping off, right? Let me see if I can, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove, there we go. Yeah, so the sample is off time, okay? So here we go. And our BPM here is 121, all right? So, and you may or may not be able to hear what I'm doing. For some reason, when I broadcast with this, when I play sound from other programs or whatever, it like seems to block the sound. So I apologize that you're not going to be able to hear it, but we can see here that this is not locked, okay? It's close, but it gets off and off and off and off and off. And you can notice that we're close because it still thinks that this is 121 BPM. But if we come over, as we can see, it gets further and further off. I hope you guys can see this. So in order to get it to the BPM that you've chosen up here, the master BPM, you just have to warp the file. So I know that this is supposed to be on 1.2, 1.4, 2.2, 2.4, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I could just come all the way to the end here. And sometimes you got to deal with it closer, because sometimes it gets so off that the closest location is still off. I can explain that later. So let me just start here, and I know that this here should be moved over to 8.2, and then I'll jump over to the end here, and that looks like it's locked right on. Okay, so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just put a marker at the end as well. And now what we can see here is that its original BPM is 120, but because it's warped, I can change the tempo of this to whatever I want, and this will conform to that. All right, so it'll always be locked into the BPM. If you want to do something different with the BPM, right? So for example, oh whoa, all these notifications just blown up right now. I don't know why. Oh good, I'm glad that you're not seeing it on here. I don't know if you guys get that, but on the Mac, sometimes you'll just get like 15 notifications that just dump on you for some reason. That pisses me off. Okay, so if you wanted to, say, have this play at a different BPM, if you did some certain math and the timing would be cool for that or whatever, then you could literally just kind of move this. And as I move this marker at the end, you'll see the BPM here change, right? So see, we're going to 118, 117, and then we could kind of dial it in here, to something specific. But as you can see, this is totally off from locking into the master template, and it's not going to be nearly as useful. So I would not recommend doing that. What I would do is I would go into the master, and you can change the master tempo right here. You can just double click here, click here, and let's say right here you wanted to speed it up a little bit for some reason. You can just change the BPM. I hope that makes sense. All right. There's certain reasons why you might want to do it, but it's not something that you really want to do often. To be honest, the times that I use this is if I'm constructing a DJ mix in Ableton, and I want the BPM to kind of move upward through the DJ mix. Then I might start, let's say, at 118 and end at like 124 or something like that. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Obviously, when warping songs, it's a little bit trickier. I mean, it's not really that much trickier. It's just here's what you really want to do when you're warping a song. Is normally your first beat. Let's just say this is a first beat. The reason that we're warped here and the first beat is on 1.2 is because a snare doesn't play on the 1, it plays on the 2. So consider this a 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So, but with a song, if this is the first beat, then what you're going to want to do is put a warp marker here and get rid of the warp marker in the beginning. And then you're going to right click and set this to 1. That way, everything after it lines up so that you know where the beat should be. So if this were like a kick drum, you would want, and it was a 4/4 or something, you'd obviously go, well, that kick needs to be here, and this kick needs to be here, and so forth. And then you could do something like a warp from here, and it could correct. It doesn't look like it corrected that. So you might need to move this over more and such. So if these were kick drums, this would be the correct approach, right? So you just kind of have to know where the beats are supposed to fall, and then you can warp accordingly. Cool. I hope that is helpful. Let me jump back over here to my mug and see. If you guys have any more questions. And I know there's a little bit of latency, so I'm not sure how long the latency is, but what that means is that I've got to wait after I ask you a question for the answer to come in. So yeah, there's that. getting really good at quantization on audio to the drums. Yeah, so this way you could kind of, oops, let me jump back over. I'll jump back into this real quick. So here's the thing, and this works for MIDI and audio, is you line things up to the grid, right? And this is lined up the way I want it to be, right? And then in order to make it not sound so robotic, that is what the groove pool is for. So you could literally, like I have a reference track here, right? If I wanted to, I could just kind of grab a little section, copy, paste. See, that's what I'm talking about here. Copy, paste. Yeah, it's being a little asshole. So I got to turn automation off, then copy and paste, and all's good. Okay, yeah, that's the issue that I'm having, that I don't like that much. But anyway, okay, so we've got a reference track here, and then I'm just going to consolidate it so it just becomes its own clip. And then what I can do is I can say, well, I like the groove of this song here. I can drag it into the groove pool, give it a second to do its thing. Do, 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 do. Oh, Joe, you're taking notes. Good for you, man. I hope this helped. Let me know if this is helping, if I'm actually answering your specific question, right? Happy to help, but I just want to know that I'm doing something. Okay, so here we are in the groove pool. I'm going to explain what the groove pool is. I just got the question from you. So over here, what I've done is I've taken this groove here, and I can't play it once again just because of the way it's broadcasting. I can try to do something a little bit more flexible later, but I got to broadcast a different way. That's kind of a pain in the ass to do. And this way it's just a lot easier to broadcast. But anyway, so this extracts like the groove. So a groove is like when everything's quantized, like if you think of it like MIDI, when everything's right on the beat, it just sounds really robotic. And humans don't have a robotic sound. Like if you listen to a live band or live percussion or whatever, what makes it great is that little bit of swing. So you can capture that swing from another track, or you could come into your packs and go into your core library and swing and groove. They've got tons of different grooves. And what's cool about it is that you can click on these and listen to the way the groove sounds. And you can drag that into the groove pool. Okay? So what I would do now, since let's say I really want this groove here, is the timing is just what I want. I want it at 100%. And sometimes I add a little bit of random so that it just isn't perfect. And sometimes I'll use velocity because sometimes with the groove, it also captures the kind of volume level changes in the groove. And that could be helpful. But then once we have this, what's cool is I could come over and, for example, my kick drum or something like that, right? I click on that, and as you can see here, it says there's no groove on it. But if I go over to this reference track we just did, now that groove is assigned to this. So it's no longer going to play right on the beat. It's going to be slightly human, right? So it's going to give a little bit more swing to the sound. And yeah, all you got to do, I can just, if I wanted to apply this to the whole song, I can just hit all like this. Oops. First I got to double click on one, then hit all. And as you can see, we get this thing, and this is just a collection of all of the clips. And then we can just switch this right now to that reference track that we dragged in. And now the whole song is going to conform to the groove that we created. I hope that makes sense. All right. So that's that. If there's any other questions, cool. If there isn't, I'm going to head out. So yeah, two things. The book is, I did a promo like a couple months ago on the book. And I didn't plan on doing this again, but because Amazon screwed up and I want to make sure the book is available, I figured why not put it up on promo. So grab that book while it's available. And also, if you're interested in understanding grooves deeply in loads of different styles, and here's the thing, even if the genre that I'm doing, you know, like I said, I'm doing 5 different genres. Even if the other genres are not your style of music, understanding how I reverse engineer these styles of music that I haven't created before, you can get a lot out of that by understanding how to think and how to listen to a reference track and extract those bits and pieces that really make a groove stand apart. So that's what I got for you. I'm not going to put the link in this video because you can find it on this page if you're interested. But yeah, have a fantastic Saturday, guys. Take care of yourselves. And if you got any more questions, I'll talk soon. And thanks for the shot on the shirt. Yeah, I kind of like it. I'll try to keep the cool shirt thing going for these live streams. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. I'm going to check out right now if I can figure that out. And I hope this has been helpful. Take care, guys.